I challenged my mom to a one-on-one race in Super Mario 3D Land. I will have to beat the entire game before she beats a single world. Now 3D Land is a game that my mom is pretty familiar with. Only a few months ago she played through all the normal worlds on her own and I only had to help her beat the very last level. This time though, she will only have to go through World 4 and I'm allowing her to use the Invincibility Leaf, which is a power-up she will get if she ever dies 5 times in a single level. I on the other hand haven't played this game in years and I will have to go through Worlds 1 through 8 in order to win. Who will be the fastest? Well, let's find out. I managed to get a decent start going as I dashed through the first few levels of the game. These are all super easy, without a ton of serious obstacles, which was very convenient because it definitely took me a little bit of time to get used to the movement style that Mario has in 3D Land. Despite her more recent experience with it, Mom was struggling even more with the controls. The 3-dimensionality made it really tough for her to accurately assess her jumps, and she generally tends to struggle a bit with simultaneously jumping and running in almost all Super Mario games. Mom also immediately showed a tendency to get sidetracked a lot. She was really drawn to picking up items that she didn't really need, kill enemies that she could have easily avoided, and especially picking up any star coins that were easily available to her. Despite that, she beat her first level before I had beaten World 1, which was a bit of a shock to me, because she had played a lot worse during the short warm-up we had done before the race. I had more worlds to beat than my mom had levels, so she was already establishing a serious lead early on. Her next level was a challenge cube, which was very good for her but bad for me. These challenge levels tend to be pretty easy and they're capped at a time limit of 10 seconds, so you know they're gonna be incredibly quick to complete. With 2 out of 7 levels done, my mom was way ahead of me. To be on par with her, I would have had to be in the middle of World 3 by now, yet I was just barely approaching the final level of World 1. Watching Mom play through level 4-2 was really funny. She found the stacked Goombas absolutely hilarious and kept laughing at them, which distracted her a bit from the race.
Schau, du Sekot, Billy.
Du bist so gemein. Also,
Oh Gott, ey.
This level was also really focused on tight jumping action in a very confined space, which is something that stalled my mom's progress tremendously. Her inability to jump and run really came into play here as she kept falling into pits with Goomba stacks in them, struggled to be fast enough at climbing these blocks that go away after a few seconds, and failed to land on the right platforms at the trampoline sections. Even though all of this caused her to die a lot and even run out of time twice, she couldn't help but continue laughing at the Goombas.
Schau, wie wird so grimmig.
Würdest du nicht auch grimmig schauen, wenn man die Code nennt? Kopfbällchen.
She also found Mario's aggressive trampolining very funny. In the meantime, I was happily grinding away at the huge amount of levels that lay ahead of me. No single level in World 1 or 2 caused me a lot of difficulties in and of itself, but I did suffer a few deaths here and there. By the time my mom finally finished level 4-2, I had managed to advance from World 1 to the middle of World 3. I had almost caught up to her, but what happened next immediately put me way behind once again. Mom's next level was unveiled to be an optional level, locked behind 30 star coins. I hadn't taken these optional levels into consideration at the start of our race, but I decided to skip them as we were going through it because so far neither of us had paid much attention to the star coins. What made this so bad for me though, was that judging by the Empty World 4 map at the beginning, I had expected Mom to go through 6, maybe even 7 levels in this world, with one slot probably going to a challenge level or a Toad House. But to my misfortune, not only did she indeed receive a challenge level, which as we already established only took her 10 seconds to beat, but she could now also skip another level entirely. This meant that she only had 3 levels to go, whereas I was still looking at 5 more full worlds to beat. These next few levels would have to be very tough for my mom, or my chances of catching up were slim to none. In level 4-4, Mom found herself in a haunted house where she was slowed down by hidden paths on the floor and had quite the fight with the resident boos. All of that stopped, however, when she finally got the invincibility leaf and eradicated all of them with ease, including the big boo. While she was going through that, I defeated Boom Boom in World 3 and made my way towards catching up with Mom. We actually overlapped each other in level 4-5 as both of us tried to work our way across the green folding platforms and the endless steps below. I didn't have much of a problem with it, but my mom struggled a lot with this level since it was focused around 3-dimensional platforming and offered many places where she could fall to her demise. On top of that, the time-sensitive segments made it even more overwhelming for her to make it through, since not only did she have to try and evade the spikes and bees, but also be fast enough to not lose the ground below her and jump in time to reach the moving platform at the end. All of that movement made this section really tricky for her, but she remained in good spirits as she physically abused a toad. I beat World 4 and moved on to World 5 just as Mom had started fighting through her level with the invincibility leaf on her. She wasted unnecessary time by entering the purple cube in the middle of the level, but not having to worry about the bees and spikes did make it possible for her to finally beat it. She now had one level remaining. As my mom entered the Bowser ship at the end of her world, I knew that I was on borrowed time. I still had 4 worlds left to complete, and it was only going to be a matter of time until Mom received the invincibility leaf and would begin mowing through everything in her path. I made my way through level 5-2, while Mom died to the scrolling screen. I got to skip level 5-3, as Mom plunged into the depths below, and as I finished off level 5-4, she accidentally beelined it right off the start once again. But then, there it was, the invincibility leaf, the one thing that had consistently proven to give her progress where she otherwise struggled to achieve it. With no threat coming to her by way of rocky wrench anymore, and the spiky rolls instantly succumbing to her prowess, the only things that could have stood in Mom's way now were going to be falling off the stage, being left behind by the scrolling camera, and running out of time. Things were looking bad. Her first attempt at the golden leaf went up in flames as she failed to grab it and died to the camera. Then, she got it. And as I floated along in level 5-5, Mom confidently dabbled on into the boss fight against Pom Pom. With 300 seconds left to go, there was no way that Mom would die to the timer, and I knew it. I raced like hell to finish my level, to make as much progress as I could, with the faintest hope that Mom would completely fail to hit Pom Pom and run out of time after all. Mom danced around on Pom Pom's shell, accidentally earning herself tons of 1-ups.
Yeah.
I finished my level. I entered Bowser's... I did not enter Bowser's castle. This was the end of the road for me. Mom had officially won our race and emerged as the Super Mario 3D Land champion. Congratulations, Mom. You deserve it. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy the race that we did in New Super Mario Bros. As well. We had a lot of fun doing this, and Mom is already looking forward to the next 101. So let us know which other games you'd like to see us play in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.